You know, there's nothing new under the sun. And I've had patients that have come to us and asked us, well, what do you think? What do you think is going to be the end of this? Or do you think that this vaccine is going to come soon enough? I'm here to tell you that the vaccine is not the answer. The answer has always been and will continue to be. What's going to give us victory over this particular virus is going to be the body that you live in, the body that I live in. You know, they say, well, this virus is new, this virus is new. I've got news for you. At one time, they were all new. But what happens is your body is subjected to it, whatever it might be, and then it develops an antibody. So, look, this is what happens basically. So, this virus is an enemy army that's attacking your body. So, what your body does immediately is it develops its own army, its own resistance. So, it creates this army called antibodies. And when it confronts, when it engages in battle, it defeats this virus, right? And it's done. The battle's over. So now the person gets whatever it was that they got. They get over it. They have a few days where they have the symptoms, or in this case, some people aren't even getting symptoms with this virus, but we'll say that they have symptoms. They get over it, and then they go on their merry way. Now, what's happening on the inside is that army that their body created doesn't go away. It just stands down, if you will. It never leaves. That's the immune system. So it's programmed now. So that later on down the road, if another enemy comes that's like the previous enemy, if another virus comes that's like the previous virus that was there, this army now quickly it gets called into service and it does battle again. Now we know that viruses morph, they kind of change. So what your body does, already having this army, these reservists that are called out now to the front, they just modify, they change, they use different weaponry, however you can picture this, but they also change so that they can engage this new enemy and defeat it. This is the way it's always been. This is the way it will continue to be. It's our immune system that's gotten the human race this far because there's nothing new under the sun. We have been engaging in battles consistently, continuously. Bacteria, viruses, funguses, parasites, all kinds of things. I mean, let's just think about it. Prior to this happening in our society, can you imagine how many times you sat or were exposed to or sat near somebody or whatever was in an environment where people were hot, where they were sneezing and coughing and hacking and and how many times you've touched doorknobs and handles and been in places where there were literally hundreds of millions of bacteria, germs, viruses that were all over your body, inside your body. But you know what? Your body met them and they defeated them. And you and I are here having this conversation now. Look, I've been asked about herd immunity a lot of times, and I want to just explain it to you because this is what's going to get us through this situation. Not another vaccine. Trust me, it's going to be herd immunity. Always has been, always will be. So this is how it works. Look, you you go to work and in the office or in the factory or in the school or wherever it is that you go to, we'll say hypothetically that there are 20 people in the schoolroom or in the factory, and three of them come in and they got the sniffles, they got, they're coughing, they're hacking, and boom, 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 you're breathing the same air, you're drinking from the same water fountain, you're picking up the same coffee maker, whatever it might be, you're using the same restrooms, and you're there. So what happens is this: as the scenario goes on, a few more people come down with the cough and they're sneezing, they got the temperature, they're out of work, and then a few more and a few other. And then there's some that don't get it, not at all. They continue and they go through the season. They don't hack, they don't sneeze, they don't miss a day of work. But the ones that did miss the day of work, they're back at work in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days later, and they're just fine. That's because their body has developed antibodies. Their immune system now is stronger and they come back to work. They've overcome it. The same thing will happen here. So this is how it happens. This is the herd immunity. So the virus comes in, right? And it affects this person, it affects this person, that person. So now they got the virus. They're the ones that are snorting and sneezing and everything else. They go home to their home. And now in their home, the husband gets it, the wife gets it, the three kids, they got the sniffles and that, and they come back, and then they go back to work, and then they spread it a little bit more and a little bit more. Now everybody has it, and the people get over it. You got me? They develop an immunity, their immune system develops these antibodies, they get over it, and it returns, then they all return to life as usual. The answer, I don't know where some of these people are. I don't claim to be an expert in all areas of science, but I do know this. The human body is fearfully and wonderfully made. It's got us this far, and it'll continue to get us going even further if we just listen to common sense and understand the cycle of life, if you will. The answer is not putting people, sequestering them and keeping them away. To make you stronger, you don't stay out of the gym. You go to the gym and you exercise the muscles, right? If you're going to run a race, you don't sit on the couch and wait until the race begins and then expect to get out there. What you do is you go out and train. You're exposed to the rigors of the challenge that's before you. You are exposed to the virus. That's what you want to do. You want to be healthy. You want to get out there and get exposed to it so the body, your body, can go ahead and do its due diligence. It can engage in battle with this virus. It'll develop the antibodies, and you'll get through it, and you'll be stronger for it, so that down the road, God forbid, should another virus come its way, it probably will, and it'll be different, your body will be well equipped. However, if you keep the people locked up until you think the virus is gonna go away, that's a fool's philosophy, because the virus will never go away. We're never going to eradicate this thing totally and wholly. So what we've got to do is make the population stronger. You get them exposed to it. Now look, I understand that there's a segment of our society that we need to protect. We need to, it's just like we do in families. We protect our children because they're not old enough, they're not strong enough, they're not adequately enabled enough to go ahead and to do whatever it is. We protect them. So we do it with the segments of society. You have the elderly, you have people that have comorbidities, different diseases. Then we need to teach them how to be responsible. Let me say this, and the United States has some of the sickest people. We have more people overweight, more people that are obese, more people that are diabetics, more people on a whole myriad of drugs than any other society per capita. We have a higher percentage in our society in the United States than others, even countries that are less developed than the United States. And yet they don't have they're not having the same numbers as we are. Our people are sick to begin with. So instead of creating a vaccine, what we need to do is to teach our society how to be more responsible and engaged in taking care of themselves, getting them off the standard American diet, encouraging them to exercise, and teaching them how to adequately hydrate themselves, getting our kids involved instead of sitting behind a computer all day or in front of an iPod or a smartphone or whatever it might be, getting them outside and exercising them instead of feeding them all kind of junk foods and processed foods. Teaching, getting them to eat some whole foods, getting them nutrients in their bodies, exercising the kids. For goodness sake, it hasn't changed. That's how we get health. That's how we maintain our health, not by holding them off. And God forbid, you know what's going to happen to our society? I don't know how it is in your state, but look, if you our economy can't take much more than this, as Scotty used to tell Captain Kirk. Can't handle much more than this. We're about to collapse. And when we do you think that we're going to be healthier for it? My God, man, you lose your job, you get depressed, your attitude stinks. I mean, how are you going to take care of your people? How are you going to take care of your family? What purpose do you have in life when you lose everything that you worked for up to this point? It will literally kill you in time. So again, it's not it our success isn't going to be holding people in prison in their homes and finding out and keeping them, but rather the more people we can expose to this, in the shorter period of time, the better off we're going to be. Let's get in it, get through it, get out of it, and move on. That's what we've got to do. The human body is fearfully, wonderfully made. It can handle it. I don't care what name you put on it. Your body is equipped to handle it. But to do so, you got to feed it right. You got to make sure it's getting adequate fluids. You've got to exercise it. You got to give it the sleep it needs. You got to do the right things so that you can be strong. Because look, today is the day, but there's going to be a tomorrow, hopefully. And when that tomorrow comes, there's going to be a new agent that's going to attack your body. So what you got to do is take care of it today. How do we do it? Through herd mentality. Write your governor if you're in one of those states that's keeping you. I'm telling you, folks, that's what we've got to do. The answer remains the same. The answer is inside you. It's got to be equipped. It's got to be made ready. And if you do those things, it's going to have the victory. Yeah, you might be sick for a few days or whatever, but look, isn't that the way it always is? The flu season comes and some people get sick and some people don't because they've already been exposed to it. Some they get sick for longer, some get sick for shorter periods of time, but we make it through it and we learn from it. We prepare ourselves for the next time, right? Right. So look, please share this. Would you please do me a favor? Share this. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm asking you to share it because I'm here to tell you, I'm telling you the truth. This is what we got to do in order to get through this. And we've got to open up our businesses. We've got to become productive once again. We've got to get out of our homes. We've got to start living. That which is healthy, that which has life has to remain in motion. It has to remain productive and that's what we got to do. All right. Hey, thanks. Share this if you don't mind, and thanks for watching.